Hi there, Warriors, and welcome back to a new video of the Uruguayan Heroes YouTube channel. Just a week or 6 days after Uruguay got beat by Colombia and were knocked out of the Copa America, I'm back to reflect on what has happened and what will or what should happen, in my opinion, from this point. So yeah, it's been a few days. The anger also still there, frustration. It's calmed down a little. I think probably for you guys or girls as well. Um, the fact of the matter is that I'm still disappointed, like any of you. Uruguay failed to make an impact or do well in the last four Copa Americas. As you can see below the screen, no further than the quarterfinals in four occasions. That's a big letdown. But for me, it's just time to reflect a little bit on a tournament in which we only played one good game, really, which was against Paraguay. In that game, it was clear that Uruguay played different, played with two number 10s, De La Cruz and Arrascaeta, and Cavani up front. And for me, that is something to look to and to go forward with, because although we all love Suarez and Cavani, physically, especially Suarez is not at his level which he used to be. So for me, it is yeah, we should really look at playing with one striker and two wingers or two number 10s like De La Cruz and Arrascaeta, as well as some other areas of the pitch, other positions which we should change up, because at this moment we are not getting the full potential out of this squad or out of the pool of players, because also there are players who have not been called up who should have been. So that's my opinion. We will go further into that. I first want to I highlighted some or I took some opinions from you guys on the page, on the Twitter page. So let's have a look at them. So the first one, Flaco Enrique says, "We have been trusting you since 2006, one Copa America and a World Cup semi-final. With the players we have, we should be hot contenders for every cup we play." This was coming after I posted a quote from Diego Godin, which says, "What I'm going to say is for them to trust us, the group, El Maestro," and them meaning Uruguayans, the fans of Uruguay. "I understand that in football, sometimes everyone wants to see changes. It is part of a culture, but that fills us with positive energy, good thoughts, and good dynamics." So I have nothing against a post like this, because what else is he going to say? Of course, he's going to say something like this. But the comment below by Flaco is what I believe and what I feel as well. It's good trusting, but why should you trust someone who let you down again and again and again in the last few years? And this is basically it. If I'm going to give some money to someone and he says I'm gonna get it back next week, and I'm not getting it back, and I do it again, not getting it back again, what a dumbass I am to give him another tenner, another 10 euros, whatever. So there has to be some change in Uruguay, in the national team, in terms of players and in terms of staff, to trust the team again, because always there's hope, always there's faith. You always believe Uruguay can do it, can win it. But at this moment in time, Uruguayans are getting a little bit cynical, me included, when it comes to how we are going to do, because the fact of the matter is that it's not good enough with what has been shown in the last few years. Certainly not with the players we have, like everybody keeps saying. This is the problem, if we've got a squad which is not maybe up to it, then you can accept. But we got a squad who is up to it, really is. And yeah, like he says here, Flaco, it's 2006, Tavares has been in charge for 15 years. One Copa America, although brilliant, one Copa in 15 years. It's not amazing. If you are the manager of Ecuador, it's good. Certainly it is, but not Uruguay. Like you see here, it's been 15 Copa Americas, and the longest run without a Copa America has been two tournaments. Oh, sorry, the longest run without a semi-final place in the Copa America, it's been two tournaments. And Uruguay are currently on a run of four tournaments without a semi-final appearance, let alone a Copa title. So yeah, it's just not good enough. And the World Cup, yeah, we qualified for each World Cup until this point in Tavares' tenure. And this Copa and this qualifiers, we obviously hope and wish that we can do it again. But the start has not been good. 2 or 6 games, 2 losses, 2 draws, and 2 wins. Still in fourth position, which gives direct qualification. But Uruguay have dropped points in games which were really winnable. You know, Venezuela, Paraguay. So yeah, we will see how this goes. But the trust is not there to, especially the coaching staff from many fans. And I did a poll on the Twitter page of to ask people, would you like to see Tavares go or would you like to see Tavares stay? And I think it's been 70% to go and 30% to stay. And these 30%, obviously, they will have their reasons. I can't see them, but that is okay. You know, it's just a matter of opinion. But for me, yeah, people are really done with Tavares and his stuff for what he's bringing right now, what he brought in the future or in the past, and what he has brought in terms of youth development. Brilliant, you know. Never anybody can fail, or never anybody. I'm sorry, never anybody can downplay this, you know, because this is really huge. But this moment, Uruguay national team, the last decade, it's not been good enough, and for me, it's time to go. But I said it a few times. Then moving on to another comment from Nick says, I love Tavares and all he's done for the national team, but he should have resigned with his head held high after the 2018 World Cup. South American football has been changing, and we are starting to see different style of play. These other countries are playing. Uruguay needs to adapt. Yeah, I agree. I would even go further and say in 2016 he should step down. But okay, World Cup he got it. He got us there after 2 really disappointing Copa campaigns in 2015 and 2016. 2018, yeah, you can say quarterfinals exit against the eventual champions France. Okay, not bad. For me, it wasn't that good either, but okay. But yeah, he could have his conclusions then and say this is time. This is a good time. But you have to remember, Tavares is I think 74 now, and surely there are 74-year-olds who are really fit and all this. But Tavares' health is not that good. You know, we all know about his problems with his I forgot the neurological system. Yeah, I mean, this is not. I mean, it's not like he still can do his job, but it's not ideal to do it in. And of course, we all want to have him in good health. But the thing is, it seems a bit like it's like, yeah, for me, it's also he should think by himself from what do I give to this team now? What is my added value in this team, and what do I am I decisive? Am I bringing enough to the table in my role as a manager? And the simple fact is no, and his staff isn't either, because for example, when you have Tavares and maybe you have Lugano in his coaching staff, or a good manager in Uruguay, who's done it really well in the last few years, and you have him as an assistant. Okay, that I think then people will think, well, we're seeing a change here. But the same staff for 10, 15 years has been there, will never doubt any of his decisions, and who are also really always deflecting the criticism. For example, Celso Otero, Tavares' his right hand man, you know, his second man, his assistant manager, talking about Uruguay really struggled in terms of recovery between games, and because they had to play, I think, 4 games in 10 days, and Colombia had to play 4 games in 13 days. And I think about myself, Jesus, man, honestly, you going down this path, it's just silly, and also really without any foundations. Because when you think about that, and when you say, okay, Uruguay got a bit of a disadvantage right here. So what we have to do, we have to rotate the squad to keep our players fresh for this upcoming knockout stages. You know, we got a good enough squad with plenty of players who's done really well in this last season. For example, Coates, been named Player of the Year of Portugal this week. Corarian from Mexico, Jonathan Rodriguez in Mexico, Facundo Torres, Brian Ocampo, really exciting players. Many more, you know, many more players like this who could easily played, for example, against Bolivia or even against Paraguay. But no, we didn't do. I mean, Godin was rushed back against Colombia after just completing one training session. Things like this. I mean, if you say about this lack of recovery time, I mean, you have to do something about it, right? You have to get your team fresh and rotate well, because Uruguay got a squad where you can do this, where the team doesn't necessarily get worse. So it's just words without any meaning, in my opinion. But yeah, that's his opinion. So moving on to another comment. Nando says, the Uruguayan Football Association won't do anything. We are stuck with him, and hopefully we'll qualify for Qatar. Having said that, both Cavani and Suarez let me down in this Copa. That bit is not Tavares' fault. No, surely not. For me as well. And you can say it's Tavares' fault a little bit because of the way he plays, the way he sets his teams up, which limits the influence Cavani and Suarez can have. But this only goes so far, because Suarez and Cavani also did not. I don't think either of them had a game where you thought about and said, "Wow, what a game!" No, I mean, Cavani and Suarez had some good moments in games, and Cavani especially played a good game against Paraguay, in my opinion. But overall, I mean, no, it's not the level you desire or you expect from them. So yeah, they have to look at themselves. And for me, like I said earlier in the video, it's Suarez, Cavani, for whatever or for what all they have brought us, they can't play together again in these big games in tournaments. For me, that's not a option anymore. But we will see. And about the, of course, the IOF won't do anything. No, it's up to Tavares to have his conclusions. But we all know what his conclusion is. He will continue, and hopefully we will qualify for Qatar. And I mean, for me, when people ask, oh, maybe if Uruguay don't qualify for Qatar, Tavares will finally be gone. But for me, that is not. I don't even want to think about this, because Uruguay qualifying for the World Cup is for me so much more important than me being proven right for Tavares to go. I think Tavares should leave, but I would not ever want this. My opinion about this to be like proven right uh, at the expense of Uruguay not qualifying for a World Cup. No, that's not an option for me. But the thing is, with Tavares keeping Tavares on as a manager, the chances of us qualifying for Qatar don't improve. No, I think still we will, because we simply got the third or second best squad in South America. This is clear for me. So it would be almost would be a failure of epic proportions not to qualify. But yeah, it could happen, because we all know South America is such a difficult qualification process, probably the most difficult in the world when you compare it to Europe and all these continents. So yeah, last comment I picked out was let's see, Chavinista, Juan Alberto Chavino, brilliant Uruguay player of the past. One of my favorite, like I think everybody loves Obdulio Varela, but I think this guy probably a close second for me when you talk about the Uruguay teams of the 1930s, 40s, 50s, when obviously the World Cup was won twice, and the Olympics also, which also were a world title back then. But let's not go into that. He says, I'm with you, but I don't see a clear candidate to take over. There are a lot of young managers out there that could take in a few years, but not now. Yeah, so I reacted to this tweet as well. And I understand where this is coming from, because Uruguay don't got a Simeone, a Gallardo, these managers who are doing it at the biggest clubs in the world. So yeah, there's not a clear example, but for me, there are some really good examples or good options. Like I say, Guillermo Amade, for me, Almada would be my number one choice. I think he's done really well. In Ecuador, he had, I think it was with Barcelona, the Ecuadorian team. Did really well, won the league back there. For River Plate Montevideo, he did a good job, qualified for international competitions. And now at Santos Laguna in Mexico, I mean, I don't watch many Mexican football, but I obviously follow it, and also just ask people who regularly watch it, and who have trust about their view on football. So, and they all always come back to me and say that he's a really good manager, and he lets his team play good football. So, and that for me is a real good thing about him as well, because when a new manager comes in, we want him to be certainly a more attack-minded manager, because we got the players coming up who has this in their DNA, you know. For me, he's a good option. Diego Alonso, although he has been, he's left his role as a manager of Inter Miami after one season. The work he's done in Mexican football, you know, winning two Champions Leagues, you know, the CONCACAF Champions League twice with two different teams. That should not be going under the radar. Diego Aguirre, managing Internacional in Brazil right now. I mean, he has been around the block for many years and he's done so many good things at different clubs. So he's a manager. Yeah, I mean, he's a good option. And finally, a manager I don't really particularly like for this job, but who certainly has the biggest name out of all of them, and that is Gustavo Poyet. So he's a real a name you sometimes hear, but for me, although he hasn't had a bad managing career, you know, at Sunderland he was sacked eventually, but his season when he got them to a FA Cup final and he miraculously escaped relegation. I mean, that was really special. But overall, his career has not been as wished as he hoped to, probably. But still, he's an option, and there are many options for me, which I would really don't mind, you know. So what I thought I would do is we have now obviously talked about the tournament of Uruguay, the conclusions or my conclusions, your conclusions about this and what should happen. So I just thought, why not make a lineup which I would like Uruguay to play in the next game, the upcoming game in the World Cup qualifiers. So obviously this is pure hypothetical and all this stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't mind a back three, back five, whatever you call it, but a back three, because these three defenders, Jimenez, Cuadras, Araujo, they can all play in this. Jimenez plays it in Atletico, Cuadras plays it in Sporting, and Araujo for Barcelona. And I think they complement each other really well. So I wouldn't mind this at all. And why I wouldn't mind this at all is also because the fullbacks, Vinia, I mean, his game, and I watched it back the game, obviously, as I usually do. His game against Colombia, although we went out, he was fantastic. I thought he was fantastic, especially because his focus was so much on going forward and making an impact there. And he can play football basically, what I want to say, but he does it really well. His first touch often is so good. His cross is really good, getting better. And defensively, he can improve. He should improve. But with this lineup, his defensive duties are a little bit less. And Naita Hernandez at the right side, he was also very good against Colombia, and he's been very good all tournament. And this is a position that he can do really well. In the middle, Valverde, obviously he plays best Uruguayan midfielder we have at this moment, maybe player even. And then I get one for Torreira, because I can understand why people think Torreira, why him? He hasn't really played for Atletico last season, and he is not even sure where he's going to play next season. So maybe it's going to be another season of nothing, basically. But for me, Torreira in potential is still one of the best central or defensive midfielders around. That is my opinion, and I can see why people don't agree, but that's my opinion. And Bentancur, who you can also play there, for me, he should play with the defensive midfielder next to him in this formation, because otherwise you cannot. He's too how do you say it, too nonchalant to play this position. And when you get Valverde next to you, of course he will defend. He does so much, Valverde, up and down, up and down. But you need someone who stays a little bit more steady, like Vecino maybe. And Bentancur is not that man for me. So maybe with another formation he can play, because in the last two games of the Copa he played really well. So Torreira or Vecino and on that position. And then going forward, like I said earlier, Suarez and Cavani, we cannot play together again, because it's not working at this moment. So if something is not working, why maintain with it when you got other options who are better, in my opinion? because in a game against Paraguay with De La Cruz, Tarasqueta, we saw some really good football. And these players, they work really hard. De La Cruz, especially in defense, but in attack, they just find spaces. They associate with between each other, have some good attacks or some good moves going on, and they understand football really well, in my opinion. So it just makes it easier for us to play and to keep the ball. And obviously, they both can score, and they both have a really good eye for the final ball, which Suarez or Cavani, whoever plays, can benefit from big. So yeah, this is just something which I would like to see. Um, so then going on to the next fixtures, which in which this formation maybe can be tried. If Tabras is watching, I don't think he is, but you never know. Uh, so Peru in September away, difficult opponents, obviously. Ecuador at home. Um, then we got Colombia at home, Brazil away from home, Argentina at home, and Bolivia away from home. These 6 fixtures, really tough. Bolivia and La Paz, always difficult. Argentina, well, Argentina is Argentina. Uruguay don't win a lot against Argentina in the last few years. That's just a fact, I think the last one was in 2013, just before or in one of the final qualification games for the Brazil World Cup. But after this, not many wins or not many points either. So then Brazil away. Oh, Brazil don't lose basically at home, so it's always going to be tough. Colombia at home. Well, we should, yeah, we should really set something right. Certainly after the way Mina and all these Mina danced when he converted the penalty. That really annoyed me. But yeah, he was on the winning team. So yeah, you cannot really say anything then. But for me, it was kind of nice to see him miss the other penalty against Argentina. But yeah, we really have to set something straight there for me. And then yeah, Ecuador at home, Peru away. So these are going to be fight to games because let's just say something: when Uruguay don't or fail to win against Bolivia, lose against Argentina, lose against Brazil, draw against Colombia, which are all really, it could happen easily in the sense that it is not, it wouldn't be a surprise. Then you maybe come out of these games with 6, 7, 8 points out of a possible 18. Well, then you probably slip down to the places where outside of the qualification, and then you got a big few months ahead to qualify. So we will see. It's all speculating how Uruguay will perform, but for what we all know is that we should perform and we should step it up, because the way we played for most of the Copa is not acceptable, and it's not enough to qualify for the World Cup as well. So yeah, for me, manager, yeah, we all know. I believe we should change. I think we should make some different choices in the way we play. In formation, but also in the personnel, who plays and who doesn't. Godin, Suarez, or Cavani, they can't all play again. We are moving on. It's 2021, and although we all love them, we have to go forward and move forward as well. Yeah, and also players like Arambari, Lucas Olasa, Damian Suarez. I mean, when are we going to call them up? Because it's just ridiculous why these players like this, Diego Rossi, do not get a chance because they deserve it. But hey, the way it is now, Uruguay play in September again, so we will probably have another chat about this around that time. For this moment, this will probably be my last video on the Uruguay national team, in these coming months. But what I thought, and I want to know your opinion about this, is I would like to make some videos about transfers and when the season gets started, about performances. Maybe a weekly roundup. And also, I thought about something like reacting to games of the past. For example, Uruguay against England at the World Cup in 2014, or some Copa América games in 2011. So things like this. So just let me know if you like it and if you want to see it. And yeah, I will. I hopefully will start this up if you like it. Yeah, if you want to subscribe for more videos, please do it. drop a like if you want. And yes, just let me know your opinion about the video, about Uruguay at this moment, and what you want to change, and what should be the changes in your opinion. And I will surely check them out. And if you don't follow already, you can follow the Twitter page at Uruguay Heroes. Maybe an update at the Uruguayan Heroes, the account which was suspended a few months back. I got good hope, and it's hope because it's not certainty, that it will be back in the coming days or weeks. So let's hope it. And otherwise, still keep this going on Twitter or on YouTube, whatever, because yeah, I like to do it, and hopefully you like it as well. So I see you in probably a few days with another video, and until then, have a good time. Bye bye.